Alright, here's another exciting how-to video. If you've seen on social or whatever that you've caught some bass on DIY spinners, here's how to do it. So what you're going to need is some treble hooks, right? Beads, you got your willow leaves, need your tooth-proof stainless steel leader wire. I got some Nova Stone Chameleon paint, Razzle Dazzle, Double Dazzle, powder paint. Need some pliers, need some weights, most importantly, right? And we're gonna make these guys, DIY spinners. Yep, some look like more popular and more expensive ones, like this one, but you can make these 95% like the ones that you buy at stores, the expensive ones that you buy at stores. But these, after you get all the material, each of these only costs up to, anywhere between 10 and 60 cents a piece. Okay? So let's get right into it. I'm going to take these paints, clear these out a little bit, right? Move this stuff aside. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is you're going to figure out a weight, right? These are all sliding sinkers. So you can get these at, these bullet ones at Walmart or online. These are little 1/8 ounce ones that you can buy in little packages, or you could use a mold that you can get from Barlow's to make on your own. Doesn't matter. For the sake of this video and just for clarity and whatever, I'm gonna do this 1/4 ounce, and let's see what else. I'll do this, this, what is this? Half ounce? No, not half. That's I think that's a 3/8. So, but this is an 1/8. All right, so we'll do this 1/4 ounce and this 1/8 ounce. What you want to do first is color them. So you could either spray paint, but I have, I've had luck on all of these different colors. So this is actually let's go through the colors actually real quick. So this is a gold hologram. This is this one right here, this Nova Stone Razzle Dazzle. And all these colors are on lead weights. I'll show you how to do all that. But yeah, this is the gold. This is the Chameleon paint sawgrass, silver hologram. This is spray painted black with the yellow dot on it. This is actually, you can get glow in the dark pigment. This is a Protect color. Protect powder paints, but yeah, you can do glow in the dark. All right, so you just got to pick your colors. So I'm gonna just go with see what I want to go with. I'll do silver holographic. Let's go with this silver holographic one first. So when you get these from Barlow's, you definitely want to make sure you open them up. I get a small screwdriver or just any kind of stir stick and really churn this up so it's all becomes really loose. Okay, now we'll go ahead, and you're going to want to use, you could use a blowtorch, you can use a heat gun. I'm going to use a heat gun, and the way I do this is I'm going to go ahead and get just a spare piece of this tooth-proof stuff, right? And I get the end of it, and I'm just gonna kind of bend it, right? So you have this one, it's already pre-bent, so you have that little thing on there. That way you can just take this weight and just slide it to the bottom so it sits there. Okay, now you just take your heat gun and heat it up. Get back in the picture here. Doesn't take much. What I've learned with, here, let me turn that off. What I've learned with this heat gun stuff and this powder coat stuff is you can go maybe like 10-15 seconds of heating it, dip it in, use the powder or use the heat gun again, warm it up a little bit if you're not getting the color that you want. Dump it in again. So usually about 2 dunks, you're pretty good, but you just don't want to overheat the lead. If you overheat the lead, it's going to get clumpy. And here, I'll show you here. Let me just do this. I'm going to use this sawgrass one, because when you overheat it, it gets really clumpy. So I'll show you how that actually looks. We'll do it the wrong way first. That way you can see what it looks like. So I'll go ahead and I'll use this weight since I want to do that 1/4 ounce good. So we're gonna use that weight. I'm gonna get this heat gun and I'm gonna turn this thing on and we're gonna really heat this up, right? I want to get this thing super hot. Okay, so this thing should be scorching hot. And this same thing works with the jig heads too. But if I go ahead and dunk this in now, of course that one worked. You can see how it clumped up a little bit there. That one actually turned out clean. Okay, so we're now gonna heat this thing up super hot and put it in there and see what happens. It should clump up. Okay, so just to show you, in case you think the hotter it needs to be, the better. Now we'll go ahead and dump this in. Okay, you see right there how it's all clumped up? That's not good. You don't want it to clump up. Same with down here. How it's all clumpy, that's because it got too hot, and too much heat causes too much powder to stay on it. Okay, so you could see how just clumpy it is. It's not uniform. It's really clumpy looking. Now go ahead and slide this off. Keep in mind this is gonna be really hot, but slide that off. Go ahead and I'm gonna get some of this powder off here. So now we're gonna go ahead and take, I guess we'll do this one. Take this 1/4 ounce, right? Make sure to mix up the color. Okay. Now I'll take the heat gun again. And we're only gonna heat this up for probably 20 or 30 seconds at most. Constantly rotate it so that the heat doesn't settle in one spot on the weight. Okay, that's good enough for the first go around. So now you just take it and quick dip, right? Boom, that's done. Okay, see how much smoother that is? Let's see if we can compare these two. So you can see how that there was a clump there. This one, there's no clump at all. It's absolutely perfectly smooth. But again, let's say you want it to be a deeper color, which this one doesn't really need it. But you just go through and you just heat it up again. Short little bursts of heat. Okay, that's all you need. Go ahead and dunk it in again. Boom, done. That's all you need. Real quick. Okay, so that's all set. We'll let that cool down for a few moments. I'm just kind of bumping it on this corner here so it doesn't stick to the steel wire. Let me go ahead and close up this green. And I guess I'll use the silver holographic, okay? This is cool enough now to where I can kind of spin it right off. And what I do is I just take I have little tiny wires. So I have little tiny hangers. So I'll take this off here, stick it onto there, and just kind of hang it away, right? So we're just kind of hanging it away right now. Let's go ahead and do this silver holographic now. Again, same thing. Get that weight on there. With the, before I get into it, with this holographic, the double dazzle stuff and the glitter paint, so that's the Chameleon paint. This is the glitter paint. It doesn't clump up, basically, like the Chameleon paint. It's much less temperature sensitive, is what I was trying to say. Okay, so now go ahead and dip that. Look at that, see? And you can heat it up a little bit just to see and get that powder completely on there. So there's a little spot right here, I don't know if you could see it, where the glitter and the powder didn't stick, probably because it wasn't heated enough on that side. So all you gotta do is heat it up a little bit more. Stick it again, boom, done. There, now you have your glitter. So that's, again, that's the double dazzle, Novastone double dazzle, I'm sorry, Novastone Razzle Dazzle paint. This is the silver holographic. I'm gonna go ahead and cover this up. Great. Okay, that's cool enough now to just kind of spin off there. Okay, so now that we've got the color on there, that's the first part. That's the easy part of this whole thing. Now, in order for this to, you want to finish it, right? You don't want this to just be the, or at least I don't like it to just leave it as the powder paint. Whoa, almost dropped it. So I use the CS Coatings Seal Coat, right? This is the UV Blast. This is a regular version. So with the UV, it's not like glow in the dark. So if this were to drop, it's not going to be glow in the dark green. But what it does do is it uses the wavelengths to accentuate the colors of whatever you put it on. So this, as it goes down, it's really going to turn the green almost like into a neon, right? With this, it's just going to really make that glitter really shine, that holographic silver really shine underwater and really grab that fish's attention. With the UV blast though, it can also be an overload, right? So if you use too much of it, it could really actually make the fish swim away from it. It doesn't attract them as much, especially if it's really clear water, really sunny. It could be too much, in which case you'd use just the regular seal coat without the UV blast. So in this circumstance, I'm just going to play it safe. I'm just going to use the regular seal coat to finish these. So this is why I use these little hooks, because when I go to dry this seal coat on, I want it to just kind of hang and drip dry a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this green one onto this little piece of wire, and I'm going to dip it in. And it's going to drain. You want it to drain as much as possible. Right. Actually, I should probably, this has a little hole on the bottom, so it's probably best if I did that. So I'll go and re-dip that one. And you want it to, again, drip dry as much as possible, because we have to finish these not only with a clear coat, but you're also, for best results, you want to put these into an oven at about 325 degrees for approximately 15 to 20 minutes, right? Just to get everything hardened on it. I have also found with this glow in the dark though, you don't want to add the clear coat. I just leave as is. But with these powder coats and Chameleon paint stuff, or powder coats and glitter paint, I always use the clear coat. So I'll hang that up, let that drip, not even drip, it's almost done. But, yeah, grab another wire here. Same thing with this one. It has that spot on the bottom, so I'm going to go ahead and put that like that, and then I'll go ahead and dip that one in. Now you can also paint this on. You could also use a small airbrush and paint it on, but I just choose to dip it. There's nothing wrong with it. And I'm just tapping it just to get as much of the initial excess off as possible. I'll go ahead and hang that one. And you can see with this green one that there's already some excess coming off it, which is fine. Just go ahead and rub that on the rim of this jar. And you just keep doing this. So I'll let that drip dry and keep getting it off for probably 5 minutes or so. All right. So these are done drip drying. We're done drying for the most part. Now, as noted, in order to complete the process of curing and to give these the best durability possible, put these into an oven. You know, whether it's a portable oven that you can have on your workstation, worktop, or indoor oven, whatever, doesn't matter. Put them in for 15-20 minutes at 350 degrees. That will complete the curing process for these powder coats and the CS coating seal coat. Alright, and for the sake of this video, and for those of you that are on social that think that I was using Panther Martins when I wasn't actually using Panther Martins, I've told you it was a DIY. I'm going to show you how I do it. Here's your 1/4 ounce weight, or any weight you want. For this example, I'm just going to use a 1/4 ounce just because it's bigger and you can see it. To start, of course, we're just going to take black. Get that painted. Alright, that's the start of it. Alright, second coat. Alright, third and final coat. There you go. Yellow next. Alright, now that the black is dry, I'm going to go ahead and put the infamous yellow dots on. So I have this yellow spray paint. Just going to put it down here on some old tape. Get the yellow. Just put it on. There's 3 there. Flip it over, just like the expensive brand. Find the middle, right about there. Yellow there. Yellow there. Yellow there. Alright, now that the yellow's on, now we'll just let that dry. I put that just in my handy vise right here. Let that dry for probably an hour or 2. Then put the CS coating seal coat on it and put it in the oven just like I do the others. Done deal. Alright, here we go. So I got the silver hologram. We got our green or our Sawgrass Novastone Chameleon paint. And we got our hand sprayed mimic of a expensive brand, right? Okay, so one thing to note though with this one, I do strongly recommend that if you are going to make your own spinners, that you use some type of powder paint, whether it's these Novastone from Barlow's or a Protect that you can also get at Barlow's, and I'll leave all these in the description below so you have a direct link to these. But again, I strongly recommend using the powder paint because it's just significantly more durable than using spray paint with the CS coating seal coat. Okay, so now to make the actual spinner, again, what you're going to need is leader wire or some type of wire. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. This is 218 pound or number 14 wire. You can also use a lighter a lighter wire, like 140 pound or so. I just like the way the 218 pound feels when I'm pulling it, the weight that it has, and it's not, of course, as flexible as 140. So it just feels a little more firm to me. That's all. So I'm going to go ahead and cut about a 4-inch section, just so I have enough room to play with. With these larger ones, I'm going to use a size 8 treble hook. With smaller ones like these 1/8 ounce, I'm going to use the size 12. They do have size 10s. I just didn't buy them because I didn't see there was a reason to buy anything right directly in the middle. Both these sizes should be just fine. But if you want, again, you can use this. You can get size 10. So this is the size 8. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one, and I'm going to go ahead and make the this replica one, just so you could see what it looks like all done up. So I'm going to take this the steel wire. I'm going to take small pliers, small needle nose pliers, and again, with this, similar to everything else that I make with wire, if you have a wire bending tool, in this case with the lighter wire like this and not the 325 that I use for the A-rigs, but for this, one of those wire bending tools to make the eyes perfect would probably be a little more beneficial, right? So what I'm going to do, grab one end, and I'm going to just take the pliers and wrap this piece around this side. You can see it makes a little eye there. I'm going to not crimp, but kind of collapse that eye a little bit more to where almost this arm is at a 90, right? See that? Then you're going to go ahead and take the hook, put it right on through. I'm going to take the pliers and just kind of bend that wire a little bit. Just pull it apart so that way the hook goes in there. See, that's moving freely. And just like anything, is that if you've watched when I make these eyes, I'm just going to take my little vise, my worktop vise, and take pliers and just wrap this around 2 or 3 times. Try not to damage the hook. You don't need to wrap it around the whole way, just enough to make sure that hook isn't going to come out. Okay, that's good enough. Now, see the little tag in there? The little tag? You can go ahead and take some wire cutters, whatever you have, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut that piece off. Okay, so now see how it's just kind of little burr right there, a little piece sticking out. I always just take a pair of pliers and kind of flatten that down a little bit. This is just a simple little weight that you can get from Walmart. And with that little opening or that indentation that you see in here, I'm going to take 2 of these these are a larger size little beads. I'm going to slide one on there first. Okay, that goes down onto the tip, or down near the hook. I'm going to slide another one, because I just don't want that bottom of this weight to be touching the hook. Okay, so you see how that hook, that's sliding on there nicely. Now, I could, only use one. So if I only use one, you can see it goes down there, which is perfectly fine. It's not going to get in the way of the hook, right? But I just want to keep this weight away from the hook, not as much as possible, but give that fish enough room to get hooked and not just grab the weight. Okay, and you can make so many designs of this. It's not even funny. You know, colored beads, Clevises, it doesn't matter. This is just some of the basic stuff that I got. All right, so you got this weight that's freely spinning on there. That's the point. I'm gonna grab a small one. I'm gonna grab a small bead here. I'm gonna put that over, right? So you got that now. And let's go ahead and put if we're gonna do a straight mimic, might as well use the same color. So when you're using the expensive brands, or when you buy the expensive brands, they have their name embossed or printed onto this this spinner, right? So it says any one of a couple other different brands on there. And what you're going to do is you're going to take this brass blade and you're going to see this lump here, or this indentation. That's going to go down, and it looks just like that, right? So if you put it this way, it's just sticks straight out. So that's not good, right? You don't want it to stick straight out. You want it to lay down. And this is an inline brass blade. So see how it sticks out there now? So as you pull it through the water, it's just going to spin like crazy. So that's perfect. Looks great there. And you can add you can add a colored bead. You can have whatever you want. And now all you're going to do is take your pliers and do the same exact thing that we did to make the eye, right? So I'm going to take this wire. I'm going to not do that, but take that wire and now bend it over. And again, wire bending tool at this point, probably beneficial. Okay, I put it at a 90 again. Do the same thing, put it into the vise. And I'm gonna actually angle it down just a little bit so that blade stays down there. Then I'm just gonna take this tag in and wrap it probably 3 times. 1, 2, just do a third. Okay, you don't want to pull it all the way down because you want that leaf to be able to move freely up and down and slide a little bit. Okay, so there you have it. Now again, we'll go ahead and cut this tag end off. Don't need that. Watch your eyes when you're cutting it so it doesn't fling out and hit you. And again, same thing when you made the eye for the hook. I'm going to go ahead here and crimp down this tag end piece. That should do it. Alright, cool. So there you have it. There's your spinner that looks like a really expensive one that you could buy at a store for $5 to $8 depending on the size. But that's the Mimic right there. So those of you that thought, no, you're using that one. No, I'm telling you. Look at them. This is brown wire, the one that you could buy. The expensive brand, those are silver wire. And the eyes are made perfectly. These, well, they're not perfect. Fish don't care. Alright, so now I'll do a smaller one, just to give an example. I use the same size wire. Again, you don't have to. You could use a smaller wire, up to you. Alright, so got that small piece. Again, take this wire. Gonna go ahead and curl it over so I can make that eye where that hook's gonna go. Okay, and then again, put it at a 90. You don't want to go too far, otherwise that hook can't move. Now, anything that is probably about 1/8 ounce or 5/16 ounce, not even that, about 1/8 ounce or less, I'm going to use this size 12 hook. It's a much smaller hook. Kind of like, almost like a trout power bait, or trout hook, but not. So go ahead and do the same thing. And by the way, these stinking VMC hooks from Barlow's, these trebles, they're the sharpest treble hooks I have ever used. Good. Again, doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. You're fishing for bass or trout, so don't sweat it too much. It just needs to be functional. Okay, that's down. Now I'm going to go ahead and use the bigger bead. Okay. Go ahead and slide that down. Okay, that's good. Go ahead and take that weight, Slide that down. There you have it. Beautiful. Now I use a small bead here. This stuff is so cheap. It's not even in quantity, it's not even funny. Like this entire thing, again, this entire mimic right there, at most, you're looking at 60 cents per. Oops, almost forgot to put the blade on. So at this one, I'm just going to show, I'm going to use a small. So this was the larger one. I don't remember what size. I'll leave leave the links in the description below. And then there it is. Now I'll go ahead and bend this side down. There you have it. 1/4 or 1/8 ounce. Or actually, that's one, glad I said that. One thing important to note. Okay, so even though you're wanting, so this is a 1/4 ounce weight, that's an 1/8 ounce weight. So in theory, or in essence, these are not 1/4 ounce lures or 1/8 ounce lures. So that's 1/4 ounce, plus you have the weight of the wire, the leaf, the blade, or I'm sorry, the wire, the blade, the beads, plus the wire and the hook. So 1/4, this is probably closer to about 1/3 of an ounce now. And this one, with this being an 1/8 ounce weight, plus the wire, beads, leaf, and hook, you're looking at probably, this is probably closer to a 1/4 ounce or a 3/16 ounce now. But they would call it 1/4 ounce, right? Because of the weight size. But there you have it. There's how to make a DIY trout or bass spinner. Now, let's take a look at some footage and see how these things work. Yup. I just got hit. Just got hit. Real soft. It was real soft. Oh! It was like I paused for a second and it took it. Oh, got it. Got it. That one's the DIY that I just made. All right, let's get this little dude unpinned. All right, little guy, not big by any means. Got it.